Welcome to CFR training. This is part 2 of our 2 Getting Started segments. Once you have downloaded the CFR software from the OMH website, an icon similar to this will appear on your desktop. To open the software, double-click on the icon. If there are problems getting the software to open on your computer, try right-clicking on the icon and select Run as Administrator from the list of options. This is the screen which appears when the CFR software is opened. To proceed, click one of the radio buttons to the left and the OK button. In this example, we have selected Create New, although most agencies will want to choose a previous CFR and import that file to begin. When creating a new CFR, this screen allows you to select the type of CFR, the state funding agencies, the reporting cycle, and the reporting period. In this example, we have chosen to create a full CFR showing funding from 3 of the state agencies during the period ending June 30th of 2016. The next screen is for more information about your agency. This is an example of an imported CFR in which programs have already been selected. Please note that the school code field is for SED filers. Also, even if you import data from your last CFR, the beginning and ending dates of your agency's financial statements must be re-entered every year in the lower right portion of this screen. To complete the CFR, you will need the following: the legal name of your agency, the 5-digit agency code assigned by the New York State CFR agencies, the street address of your agency's central administrative offices, the county where your agency's administrative offices are located, the federal employer ID number of your agency, the period covered by your agency's independently audited financial statements, and the names, phone numbers, and email addresses of your agency's CEO, board chair, and the person to contact with questions regarding the cost report and the claiming schedules. This screen is used to create or update existing programs and/or program sites. In our example, we are creating a new program site. This is an example of a CFR that already has a number of program sites established. OPWDD has been selected as the funding source for the new program to be added. The drop-down arrow will show all the programs funded by OPWDD. Always choose the option to save and close when you are ready to move to the next step. To complete your CFR, you will need the following information about your agency's program sites: the types of programs your agency operates, which New York State agencies certify or fund the programs to be reported, the 4-digit program code and 2-digit index for each program site operated, the program site identification number or site code for each program site operated. Please refer to the CFR manual for information for each program, the street address for each program site operated, and the county in which each defined program site operates. The CFRS Navigation Box guides you through the process of completing the CFR. It is recommended that you complete the schedules in this order as some schedules draw on information entered previously. This slide shows the difference in schedules required for a full CFR and an abbreviated CFR. The filing of CFR certification or signature pages are required to meet the filing requirements. These include the CFR-i, identifying information and certification by the CEO or Executive Director, the CFR-iii or CFR-iii, which is certification by the independent CPA if required, and the CFR-iii, which is required if the agency is funded through a direct contract with the state or through a local contract with the county or New York City.
The CFR-iv is new for 2018. It is required for full, abbreviated, and Article 28 submissions to OASAS, OMH, and OPWDD.
This is the CFR-i. Please verify that all information remains accurate if the data has been imported from a previous CFR. Email addresses change over time, and this is the main method by which you are contacted by the state agencies. The CFR-i must be signed by your Executive Director or CEO. The CFR-i has been revised to require contact information for an agency's president or chair of the board of directors. CFR-i schedules signed by anyone other than the noted parties may not be accepted. A signed and dated CFR-i must be submitted directly to each of the funding New York State agencies. The schedule signed must have the same DCN as the CFR submitted via the Internet. A new CFR-i must be sent to each of the state agencies each time an amended CFR is uploaded. This is the CFR-iii for information about the CPA firm reviewing your CFR. The CFR-iii is used when the period covered by the financial statements corresponds to the CFR reporting period. The CFR-iia is used when a period covered by the financial statements differs from the CFR reporting period. If required, a signed and dated CFR-ii or CFR-iia must be submitted directly to each funding New York State agency. The signed schedule must have the same DCN as the CFR submitted via the Internet. If you are unsure whether your accountant certification is required for your CFR, check the matrices in Section 2 of the manual.
Counties and other municipalities have three options for certification of full CFRs: the scheduled CFR-ii, the CFR-iia, or a compliance review letter.
This is the CFR-iii. The CFR-iii must be completed if aid to localities funding, or state aid, is received through a local county contract or a direct contract with the state agency. If funded through a direct contract, the Executive Director or CEO must sign the far left of the certification statement. If funded through a local county contract, the far left certification must be signed by your Executive Director or CEO, and the far right certification statement must be signed by the County Director of Community Mental Health Services. If required, A signed, dated CFR-iii must be submitted directly to each funding state agency. The schedule signed must have the same DCN as the CFR submitted via the Internet. Do not wait for a county signature of the CFR-iii prior to submission. Instead, send a copy of the CFR-iii to the state funding agencies at the same time it is sent to the county.
The CFR-iv is new for the 2018 CFR filing period. This schedule is required as part of full abbreviated or Article 28 abbreviated CFR submissions of not-for-profit and proprietary providers submitting to OASAS, OMH, and OPWDD. Note, the CFR-iv schedule is not required for SED-only providers, government service providers, and many abbreviated CFRs. This is the new CFR-iv attestation schedule. There are a series of questions concerning the financial health of your agency, and it must be signed and attested to by the executive director of your organization.
After completing and saving the certification schedules, the CFR program returns to the navigation box. The next step is the CFR-iv, which is covered in another training segment.